Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Today, we are going to be covering a must-have altcoin in anybody's portfolio, crypto portfolio, that is. You guys will know if you follow me daily that we are largely out of the cryptocurrency space, but Polkadot is a coin that I think you should not only pay attention to, but potentially look at as an investment or a part of your portfolio moving forwards. This is a seriously impressive blockchain that does blockchain itself differently to what we've seen come before it. We're going to be diving into Polkadot, talking about what inspired me to really make this video, diving into its ecosystem a little bit, talking about the fact that we actually see further downside in terms of the price. Not a big fan of, this looks like a very sick chart to me, and I do think there's downside to come. But for somebody like myself that is looking to get involved and get into this or reinvest into this cryptocurrency, that is not necessarily the end of the world. And I do actually believe that DOT will go back to new all-time highs. It's just going to take us getting through this bear market. And I think when the new bull market really comes around, it's going to do exceptionally well due to how it's done things differently. And when we talk about blockchain, we're really just talking about a technology. Is Ethereum always going to be that number two go-to smart contract, dApp, or building crypto? The answer is we really just don't know. But what we have seen throughout other technological revolutions, whether it be with Microsoft or Apple, or prior to that the telecom revolution or the motoring industry, where you have one dominant kind of company or product to start off with. And then over time, as competitors kind of keep up, we see those sort of positions switch place. So there is the room for, the likes of DART or ADA or whatever it may be to sort of rival Ethereum. It's just going to take some time. And I don't think we're quite there yet. And I also think with DART, they've done things very differently. DART essentially allows you to build your own Ethereum. And what it does is it basically secures. They're actually far more almost than just a smart contract facilitator. They are blockchain in it's quite a hard thing to explain, but they kind of are, Polkadot is kind of a layer zero ecosystem that allows people to build their own sovereign blockchains via utilizing Polkadot's consensus and interoperability and security. So what we're going to do to start things off, guys, is we're just going to refresh what Polkadot is. I'll go over quickly what inspired me to make this video, and this was Polkadot hits all-time high in development activity. It's been almost 1 year since the start of the ecosystem's signature parachain slot. So we had, and the only DOT that I hold is the parachains with, and that all exists in LDOT or whatever it is. And I currently have that stake, so I don't actually have a very small amount of just free DOT. But the majority of DOT that I held is actually tied up in parachains. That's 2 years. And this is one thing that makes me bullish on DOT as a token, is the fact that if you want to build on DOT, and it may prove to be one of the superior ways to do blockchain, you actually need the underlying token to do so. And you need quite a lot of it. You need essentially more than the next man to ensure that your parachain gets approved and sort of onboarded into the Polkadot ecosystem. And we're still so early within this, we're going to see a real explosion, in my opinion, as people turn their heads towards Polkadot. According to the data from programming repositor GitHub, Polkadot recognized more than 500 contributions each day in September, an all-time high for the multi-chain protocol. Simultaneously, data from Polkadot's cross-consensus interoperability standard, XCM, shows that a record 26,258 messages were sent between its parachains in a total 14,930 contributions from developers were recorded on Polkadot's GitHub in the month of August. As total, by project developers, 66 blockchains are now live on Polkadot and its parachain startup network, Kusama. Since its inception, over 140,000 messages have been exchanged between chains via 135 messaging channels. Together, the Polkadot and Kusama and treasuries have cumulatively paid out 9.6 million DOT and 346,700 KSM, totaling $72 million of fund spending protocols in the ecosystem. So to essentially help the ecosystem. So it's still very new. This is a significant, given the fact that since its inception, there's only been 140,000 messages, whereas in the last month alone, we had 26,258. You know, so there's been a significant increase, and this is as DOT starts to snowball, gain momentum and traction, and really prove itself as a blockchain and kind of show everybody what it's made of. So what is Polkadot? The multi-chain vision for Web3 starts here. That's how they brand themselves. Polkadot unites and secures a growing ecosystem of specialized blockchains called parachains. Apps and services on Polkadot can securely communicate across chains, forming the basis for a truly interoperable decentralized web. So this is what I mean by it's quite hard to explain Polkadot, because they're far more than, you can't really, even though you can say, yes, they are an Ethereum competitor, they're far more than that. They're an ecosystem. They are a new way of doing blockchain. They're kind of literally like the internet in the sense that they facilitate people to go ahead and build whatever they want. You know, it doesn't, you know, and actually have control over what they've built, providing that they can get a parachain slot. They're the kind of internet that people can build websites on top of and all sorts. So it's a very, very exciting concept, as I'm sure you can hear as I'm explaining this. So Polkadot is a scalable, interoperable, and secure network protocol from the next web. So this is really, again, what I'm trying to explain here is the concept of the next web. You know, I believe that blockchain is a technological revolution, just like the internet, and we're yet to see that next web be built. Polkadot are trying to do that, and are far more going for network than VCs and such, although they do have some real big VC players involved in them. It's super, super interesting blockchain. Any type of data across any type of blockchain. So in order to have the internet, you have to have, you know, interoperability in terms of communication. Okay, and this is why Polkadot's model is what it is. This is why Polkadot are not just one specific blockchain that means you've got to use one specific language or whatever it may be. They are a facilitator of people to go and build their own blockchains, but those blockchains can do their own things, but having essentially interoperability because they're all built on Polkadot via their inter messaging service. So Polkadot is a new protocol that allows arbitrary data, not just tokens, to be transferred across blockchains. This is huge in itself. This means Polkadot is a truly multi-chain application environment where things like cross-chain registrations and cross-chain computations are possible. This may become very relevant in terms of regulation. This is what I mean. Maybe regulators decide that Ethereum doesn't quite fit their framework and they need another blockchain to, you know, champion. This is talking at the start of the video, what I'm talking about. We don't know how this is all going to play out. We're still so early as a crypto space. Very exciting time to be alive, in my opinion. Polkadot can transfer this data across public, open, permissionless blockchains, as well as private, permissioned blockchains. This makes it possible to build applications that get permissioned data from a private blockchain and use it on a public blockchain. For instance, a school's private permissioned academic records chain could send a proof to a degree verification smart contract on a public chain. So this is why I'm such a fan of Polkadot. So I know a lot of what we're doing is essentially refreshing what Polkadot is, but you can really see the real world use cases for this. This is why I'm so bullish on blockchain still. I know we're in a bear market. I know the price action sucks, but it's going to be worth weathering the storm, in my opinion. This is the new asset class. It's going to get into the tens of trillions, and I think DOT is going to play a role in that. And actually, if the way that they've decided to do blockchain, we've kind of evolved from Bitcoin to this layer one kind of consensus now to this layer zero. If Polkadot actually are the right way of doing blockchain, I think they're going to do very well. And I think they could potentially be. We see other emerging layer ones. So the DOT token is something I'm very bullish on, because in order to actually get a parachain slot, so we can see here, you know, you've got your inner ring, which is Polkadot, the relay chain, and then you've got your parachains around it. In order to get one of these slots, and there are currently 182 projects built on top of Polkadot. In terms of actual active auctions, so we've only got just under 30 actual projects that are, or blockchains that are on top of Polkadot. Within Kusama, there's more. I think there's 50 something. We've not even really explored the whole Kusama Polkadot setup, but it is a really exciting one that I think is going to really prove its strengths over time. You know, if you have this kind of It's not really a test net because it's its own independent blockchain, but it kind of acts almost as a test net. It's super, super exciting is the point that I'm trying to get over here. And it's very, very new. And in terms of the DOT token, all these projects needed DOT through the crowd loans typically. And I've taken part in most of them, barring a few that have came out recently. Through the crowd loans, you actually gain a slot, which means you need a lot of DOT, and lots of DOT gets locked up. It also gets locked up via staking and also acts as a kind of store of value potentially, plus the main sort of token that secures what could be into the trillions in terms of an ecosystem if Polkadot have really got things right. So very, very exciting blockchain. In terms of the price, it's 12th in terms of market cap, and I think is very accurately placed when we look at market cap. It has a market cap of $6.8 billion. I could basically see that market cap halving, in my opinion. This is not by any means, shape, or form a call to buy Polkadot. We've not said that at all. What we are saying is that it is something I will be buying and adding to my portfolio when the price is right. And I do not believe the price is right now. I do think it will go back to all-time highs. Just from where you are today, if you were a long-term investor, not that I'd recommend getting in here, that's nearly an 800% gain. I think you've got lower prices to come. This is not structure that I'd invest on. And in fact, in my opinion, Polkadot has been exceptionally weak in comparison with other cryptos. And I think this just shows actually a lack of interest. And you can, I don't like this kind of grinding price action. This is something I'm not a fan of at all in terms of looking to invest in something. And I wouldn't invest here because you're very much on a cliff's edge. Apologies to any Polkadot holders or people that have recently bought. But for me, this is not price action that I want to be getting involved in. This could very easily spill to the downside in actual fact. I think you're going to get Polkadot likely at $5, potentially $4, and possibly sub. If that situation does occur, and we see some sort of a halving in Polkadot's price and market cap, then potentially I'll be willing to step in and actually buy up some Polkadot. But this is definitely a coin that I want to accumulate. Hopefully after this video, you guys can see why. Very, very exciting. Will it rival Ethereum? Potentially, but we're still very early in this technological revolution and we yet to see how it plays out. That's all I've got for you in this video, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, like it, always appreciate it. So as a comment. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you in the next YouTube video. Have a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen.